let's now get you the other big story from south of India. The political killings in Kerala, and the state itself is on tenterhooks as of this moment. Massive blame game. Let us just hope that this does not snowball or spiral into a sort of a political fight which leads to violence on the ground. Who is going to be eventually responsible? The textbook answer is the state government, but who is going to be responsible to make sure that this does not snowball into something which is very, very difficult, going to be very, very difficult to control. George Kurian, General Secretary of Kerala BJP, is with us. Mr. K.A. Mohammed Shamir, spokesperson of the SDPI, Social Democratic Party of India, is also with us. Mr. Kurian, I want to begin with you first. There is a blame game between the BJP and the left over who's responsible for killings. Where do you stand on this?
The law and order mechanism is a complete failure. You can see that murders are more than the accident deaths in Kerala. Every day you can see murders, that political murder and this quotation gang and narcotic gang, and you can see that gender genocide also. The governor of Kerala had to observe one day fasting against the killing, that dowry killing and other things. And you can see that even the snakes are used for killing the ladies in Kerala. In continuation that, this APM is supporting SDPI because they are getting support in political and election scenario. That is why they are supporting SDPI. And every day killing that, see these last 45 days, our 3 workers were killed by SDPI. Three workers were killed by SDPI. Nobody was arrested. And if something happened to CPM or SDPI, in the FIR, it is recorded that it is done by BJP. If our workers are killed by SDPI, it is not mentioned, it is SDPI. And you can see that yesterday our state leader is killed. And the CCTV footage is there. And 12 people are seen. Nobody is arrested. Nobody is arrested. Day before yesterday, one SDPI leader is killed. And they are blaming that it is BJP. Who is killed? And
no, but then, you know, the problem over here, Mr. Kurian, is that there is a typical blame game, the kind we have seen in Kerala happen in the past also, playing out even now. The fact is that in 12 hours, in quick succession, 2 political workers are dead. Both of you are blaming one another. And I do not know how this is going to get resolved, because given the political volatility, do you see this as a huge risk?
You see, you ask your team in Trivandrum, just a few hours before, 6 o'clock, your team attacked the public. 15 vehicles are damaged. So many people are injured. Day before yesterday, one man was killed by a gang, this quotation gang, and his leg was chopped off, and it was tied on the motorcycle, and they were roaming in the street, and ultimately it was thrown to the open street in front of the people. That is happening in Kerala. Because
okay, Mr. K.A. Mohammed, I want to come to you. Mohammed Shamir. Yes, I'll come back to you, Mr. Kurian. Mohammed Shamir, see, the point is, I know an SDPI secretary, K.S. Shan, was also murdered on his way back home. But it is also a fact that Mr. Ranjit Srinivasan has been hacked to death. Now, do you feel that this blame game, apart from solving a political purpose, can be of any consequence? Because you look at what Mr. Nityanand Rai, the union minister, is saying. He's saying state is protecting the killers.
Yes, well, actually, this both issues has happened in Alappuzha district, Mananjeri. You know, Mananjeri was a peaceful place till Saturday 7 p.m. RSS workers has killed our state secretary, beloved leader K.S. Shan. Thus has started the issue. Before that point, there were no issues in Mananjeri. RSS started the issue. After that, they have attacked 3 houses of our brothers. And after that, this all issues has been happened. You have to, we have to understand that actually this is not a single case. This is a clear case of conspiracy. RSS leader Varsan Telangeri is a state leader. He came to Alappuzha at 4 p.m. and he says the importance of attacking their enemies, RSS enemies, and attacking SDPI, attacking Muslims. After 3 hours, the case Shan has been killed. So this is not this part of conspiracy. Second thing, RSS had a campaign on December 16th. Prahar Yeni, its campaign's name was Prahar Yeni. It is to attack their enemies. So these campaigns were the clear evidence that RSS had a clear plan to trigger riot in Kerala as well as in India. There were many reasons for attacking SDPI leaders, because there were only one seat for the BJP in Kerala, in Nayamam, you know that. That seat was lost. That seat lost because of SDPI and its political stand. We take a stand.
Here is my question BJP then, there. Mr. Shamir. See, the point is, with law and order, and this is established by law, a state subject, how is this going to be handled? Because with this blame game, what one tends to see is that this can very quickly go out of control. Whose responsibility is it to control?
We believe in constitution. We believe in the law and order. We want a peaceful life. But actually, what is happening in India, in all over India, in Kerala, RSS is trying for the riot. You see the issue when Sanjit murdered. They tried for a riot against Muslims. After that Sanjit murder, the K. Surendran, BJP state president, had a laugh in his face in an interview. How can a president can laugh after his own brother, own activist has been killed? So there is some conspiracy behind all of the issues. Shabarimala issue. It was an internal issue of a Hindu community, but in the Hartal called by BJP, Muslim institutions and Muslim vehicles has been attacked. Why attacked? There is no role for Muslims in Shabarimala issue. It's an internal issue of Hindu community.
Mr. Kurian, how would you respond?
RSS is trying for a golden opportunity. RSS is trying to find a golden opportunity to trigger riot in India. Kerala.
To trigger what?
So this is happening.
One moment. Yes. Mr. Shamir, what are you saying? What is the RSS trying to do in Kerala?
RSS is trying to trigger riot. Genocide,
how would you respond, Mr. Kurian? Mr. Kurian, the SDPI representative says that the RSS is trying to create a riot-like situation in the state of Kerala for political gains.
They are having elimination theory, elimination policy. CPM is believing in eliminating the opponent and grab power. And SDPI, their faith is that if they eliminate the opponent, they will get heaven. That is why these two people are hand in glove to attacking BJP. They are telling that one RSS leader had a speech and something there, some meeting there. That is why it happened. The maximum number of RSS sagas are in Kerala. Every day there are meetings. Nothing happened. But these people are killing. They are not telling anything about that. Within 45 days, they have killed 4 leaders, BJP leaders. What is the reason for that? They are believing eliminating their opponents, maybe for getting political gain or get into the heaven. And these people are terrorists. They are the followers of IS. They are getting the direction from IS and Islamic State. They are every time they are making problem. They are attacking people with one stab. They are killing people. They are trained for this.
No, Mr. Kurian, my only worry is with this discourse, with the way this discourse is shaping. One person is calling the other terrorist, the other is calling rioter. And with these two political killings on the ground, repeating it again, these things get out of hand very, very quickly. And at the end of the day, who's responsible for maintaining this law and order?
Government is responsible for that. That is why I am telling the law and order mechanism is a complete failure in Kerala. There is a complete anarchy and they are supporting this terrorist outfit.
Okay, quick response from Mr. Shamir. Right to reply.
I will give you some data. He's actually only giving some allegations. There is only no points in his allegations. I will tell you some data. This is data by NCRB, National Crime Record Bureau. In that, from 2000 to 2017, 85 CPM activists has been killed by BJP. Okay, 85 CPM activists has been killed. 11 Congress men has been killed, and now Shan has been killed. You see, actually, in every issue in Kerala as well as in India, in every issue, there one side is RSS or BJP. Who killed Gandhiji? Who killed our father of our nation? Who done riots, bomb blast in Makkah Masjid, Malegaon, like places? Who is responsible for that? Who is conducting riots in Muzaffarnagar, Gujarat, like places? RSS is doing that, but we are not. We have to call them rioters because they are trying to divide Hindus and Muslims, and they need political gain by dividing Hindus and Muslims.
Okay, Mr. Kurian as well as Mr. Shamir, I'm going to have to leave it here.
Ask him how many these CPM, these workers are killed by SDPI. Abhimanyu, that SFI leader was killed by this SDPI, and so many Marxist leaders, workers were killed by this SDPI. Then they are telling that these CPM workers are killed by RSS and BJP. They are fighting each other and they get together also against BJP. See,
the report by
I've run out of time. Thank you very much, Mr. Kurian as well as Mr. Shamir. The point is, this discourse in the state of Kerala, again, is taking a turn for the worse. It's showing its impact on the ground. Is this not a difficult situation? Member of the Politburo of the CPM, Mr. M.A. Baby, is now with us. Mr. Baby, when these incidents happen, there is a very natural question to ask on who's responsible for law and order, and in this case, it is the Kerala government. So isn't the onus on ensuring peace on you?
I do not know whether the BJP people would accuse the then Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru responsible for the assassination of father of the nation, Mahatma Gandhi. They can argue as well on these lines. You see, the state government led by Comrade Pinarayi Vijayan is taking all necessary steps to ensure that law and order is protected. Anti-social and extremist forces are not having a free run to carry out their politics of violence. Here, there was some killing in Chertala a few months ago, and RSS planned a retaliatory assassination, murdering an important leader of SDPI, and SDPI immediately retaliated by murdering an important RSS leader. These two outfits are basically carrying out their political activity by violent measures, assassinating their opponents. Sangha Parivar forces killed Dr. M.M. Kalburgi, Gauri Lankesh, in different parts of the country. These extremist forces, whether they belong to RSS or SDPI, their approach is that those with whom they are unable to agree with in political perception, they are physically annihilating them. So, Kerala government will take all possible measures to see that this violence, politics of violence,
yes, has to stop, because while a member
of the LDF government in Kerala,
while a member of the SDPI has been killed, the BJP also says that even their cadre has been killed, Mr. Baby.
You see, during the last 6 years, we are having an LDF government in Kerala, and during this period when we have our government in Kerala, 20 of our important cadres have been murdered, and out of these 20 cadres whom we lost, our party lost, 15 murders against our party have been carried out by RSS. 4 of our comrades have been murdered by either Congress or Muslim League. One student leader of Ernakulam Maharajas College, Comrade Abhimanyu, he was murdered by SDPI. We are at the receiving ends. Maximum of our comrades have been murdered, and only in the last months in Tiruvalla, an important leader, local secretary of our party, Comrade Sandeep, he was murdered by RSS. So both RSS and SDPI, they are trying to advance their politics, try to communally mobilize people by carrying out these kind of attacks and creating divide, communal divide in society. Both of them are interested in creating a situation in a state like Kerala where a left alternative is being developed. Many developmental activities are being carried out by the LDF government. Welfare measures are being implemented. So the atmosphere to do such developmental activities and welfare measures to be implemented, these two forces, indirectly, they are conniving with each other. If one group carries out politics of violence, the other group justify their politics of violence by saying that they are doing this. So this is what is happening in Kerala.
And this puts your government in a tricky spot with two groups fighting with one another. One really wonders how this is going to be controlled, Mr. M.A. Baby, with law and order being your responsibility. Thank you very much for joining us.